Welcome to the Honest Discussion with Life with Leah, where we speak honestly but responsibly. Hey, welcome to Lids, the podcast, episode 5. I can't even count anymore. So I'm off the chair, the desk, and I am on the sofa because if you know me, the sofa is the best place I want to be. So I've been thinking about what do I want to share, and it's not very hard to pick something that you can share in this kind of climate that we've been in. You know, starting from March 2020 was just a madness with all the lockdowns, all the changes, work, people dying, people losing their jobs, people losing their income, the fear, the surge, all these different rules, you know, to 2 meters, 1 meter, washing your hands, washing your face, all this stuff, you know, it can be so overwhelming. I personally have found it a lot to take. And we've all, one way or the other, you know, experienced a turbulent year, I think. And the weight of it for me has been so tangible, so palatable that you can touch it. It's on social media, it's in different people, the division, the despair, the opinions. When we are overwhelmed sometimes, I think we even forget to breathe. We do forget to breathe, but we have to breathe because we have to believe that there's a hope, even in the midst of what we're going on, even in the midst of everything that's turning upside down. We don't even know what's going on. We have to believe in all of this that there is a hope. And we remember that grace has given us that hope, that grace is with us in all that we do. I don't know if you have a faith or you don't. For me, in everything that I've gone through this year, where family members were getting COVID left, right, and center, I had to go back to grace, believing that grace was with me, and therefore I had hope. You see, you have to persevere regardless. You have to persevere regardless. You cannot let what's going on around you overwhelm you so much inside of you that it takes you down. What does that mean? I mean, in this current climate, there's websites, you know, mental health support, there's family, there's friends, there's people that you can reach out to. Don't travel this road on your own. I know we all have to do is turn on our social media and we can see and hear there's thousands of words that are put upon us competing for our attention. So even when I say, you know, switch it off, don't listen to it, it is so difficult in this current climate because there's so many words being thrown at us, competing to land into the atmosphere of our souls. But we need to pause. We need to pause and eventually stop. Just stop the noise down so you can hear. You can hear the truth about what's going on with you. I have discovered that in all that I've been through this year, that my God has been near. However ugly it was, He was never changing. However the situation was changing in my life, He was always near. We have to remember that no one's life is worry-free. Sometimes the things that try to take us out always lie to us, in us being overwhelmed that it is only us. We are unique to that problem. We are isolated in the problem. But you have to remember that nobody's life is worry-free. I have stuff that I worry about. I have stuff that I'm concerned about. But it is the management of that worry that is key. That we need to get down and look at what we have on our plate and begin to move ourselves from meditating on the stuff that's tormenting us to turning it around to how can I manage this. So a few months ago I was going through some stuff, feeling so overwhelmed by things, feeling really down, and I decided to make a list of the things that were worrying me. And then the other list was for a list of the things that were concerning me. So I had 2 lists. One was a worry list and the other was a concern list. And the things that I had control over went on, that the things that I had no control over went on the worry list. And the things that I had the ability to influence, to change, they were on my concern list. So this is what I did. I focused on my concern list. I focused my energy on this list and I worked through issues systematically, things that I knew I could impact. My energy was flowing to change my environment bit by bit. It's important to note that just because you've put things on the worry list, that they just don't disappear. So for those, time for me was a factor, and hope, and perspective. That actually giving something time that's worrying me might change it, but also a distance and perspective, a different perspective, just changes things in the way that I saw them. I wasn't focusing on them as much. I wasn't meditating on them as much because all my energy was focused on the things that I had split and understood that I had the ability to influence. So when we're in a place of worry, it's a perfect slot in our lives to begin to learn to control it. That we have a choice, and I'm not saying that this is easy, but we begin to do that in our worlds where we say to ourselves, I need to split this thing that's overwhelming me, this thing that's threatening to take me under. Do I have control of it? Or is it something that is it something that I have no control over, or is it something that I have the ability to change? Because the truth is this: we can spend so much time worrying about something we can't control, and it just robs us of our insights. But if we put it in its proper place in our minds, in our souls, on our list, whatever medium that you choose, that you can begin to see it from a different perspective. At least I did. So that you can learn to begin to manage it. I just really want to end with my favorite verse that's really helped me in this time, and it comes from Corinthians chapter 4, and it's verses 8 to 9, I think. Right, so I found it. So it's in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, and it's verses 8 to 12. That for me, in this turbulent times, I've had to lean on my faith and get on a word that will really help me go through what I'm going through. And in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, it says this: we are pressed on every side, but we're not crushed. We're perplexed, but not in despair. We're persecuted, but not abandoned. We're struck down, but not destroyed. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may be revealed in our body. We are pressed on every side, but we're not crushed. We're perplexed, but we are not in despair. We're persecuted, but we are not abandoned. If I can give you any hope, for me, with my faith, that's what I've stood on. And for you, if you don't have a faith, maybe it's time to explore it, maybe not. But you could find ways, or whatever your faith, whatever your platform may be, to find a different perspective, a different angle, a different voice to the voices that are trying to take you down. Because you would be hard pressed on every side, but you're definitely not crushed. You're not taken out. You're not abandoned. You're not alone. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And make sure that you pop onto Amazon and buy your copy of Lids.